What's going on, y'all? My name is Doug. I go by DisaBeast, and today I'm going to talk about the best and worst movies I watched in 2025. The reason why I'm making a video like this, I know this is mostly a gaming channel, but I'm very passionate about film. I've been pursuing film since high school, and I have a Letterboxd and I have a whole rating system that I made. But in 2025, I felt like, you know what? Maybe it's time I actually start talking about the films I watch, because I don't know, because with a rating system, you don't really remember how you truly felt while watching a film. And I felt like I was missing that piece when reviewing these films, because I would have the rating system and I feel like mine is pretty, basic and general to how I felt about the film. I wanted to do that this year just to, kind of get better at explaining what I like about a film and what I don't like about a film, so I can implement them into any project I make from here on out. But yeah, that's just a quick little brief reasoning why you're seeing this here. But let me just get started on the first one. This was the first review I ever did, so if it's a little shitty, and I am basing a lot of the things I say off of these reviews that I made, but yeah, so let me just get started. All right, so the first film I ever reviewed was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino. First time I watched this film, I definitely didn't give it the appreciation it deserved. I was distracted, or lack of a better word, a dumbass, because after rewatching and recalling everything from my first viewing, the film took off in a brand new ride. Tarantino pulls you back in time and sets the tone of the film right off the bat. I love the stylistic choices they implemented in order to showcase the different film styles that DiCaprio's character was a part of. The whole time I just kept wondering, how the hell did they manage to get this to look so good, until you really look into it and then you find out that no, these are the actual scenes cut into the film and they just put DiCaprio's character in it. I thought that was such an effective way to watch that era of cinema, because you're basically just soaking up that timeline in. The use of miniatures and practical effects with almost no CGI other than, that moment where he's playing as Steve McQueen. It was just perfect. It was beautiful. Narratively, the film follows a slow pace, which is very typical of Tarantino's films, but it's satisfying. You get to appreciate moments like when DiCaprio's losing his shit in the trailer, or when he has that touching conversation with the little girl. And if you think that's too much, then you're introduced to Brad Pitt's character, where you get so much room to breathe as he's driving around Hollywood. He is surrounded by all the vivid colors and the relics of the past that look so good, because they went to the actual locations and restored them to their 1960s look. I thought that was so beautiful and so amazing to just witness it in their prime. The fact that they were able to capture that in the modern era is simply amazing. My only gripe with the film is that I do think the movie runs a bit long. I wouldn't know what to cut from the movie though, because then it would sacrifice the realism. But it is a minor gripe. I just wanted to throw it out. My initial rating before this, when I first watched it, was 3.5. I bumped it up to a 4.5. DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are absolutely amazing in this film. I think they nailed their roles perfectly. Tarantino, as always, delivers fucking gold. It's a great movie. If you've never seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I highly recommend you go back and watch that film. And if you can't notice, that was kind of reading off of my first review. I grew in my reviews, I will admit that I like a lot of the reviews I've made on my Letterboxd recently. So it's fun to see what my first one looked like compared to now. Moving on though. All right, next film. These films were released in 2024. Later on, I'm going to get into films that were released in 2025, but these were just the movies I watched at the beginning of the year, so I thought I'd include them because they are fucking amazing. Next up, Nosferatu, directed by Robert Eggers. This movie was fucking incredible. Everything about it was so beautifully executed. Robert Eggers is such a fucking weirdo, but I love it. He's fearless as a director. I had a lot of mixed feelings about his previous work because I didn't really like The Witch, but I loved movies like Lighthouse. I haven't seen The Northman, but I've heard great things, and that's one of those films that I know I am going to enjoy. And watching The Lighthouse, I would think that there's no way a film like this could be topped. Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe did fucking amazing on that film, but I'm not gonna lie, Nosferatu is so good it might just be above Lighthouse. The darkness, the grim architecture, the town so full of life, which is ironic to say considering everyone is dying from the plague. You could feel the area. You're just completely transported into this fucked up world that Dracula resides in. And it's such an unfamiliar concept to me because I've never seen Nosferatu. I don't think anybody has, truth be told. But oh no, I just couldn't stop drooling over how stunning the scenery looked. I just kept thinking the whole time that if Robert Eggers were to direct the Bloodborne movie, if that ever were to come into concept, he would fucking nail it because he got it so perfectly, the perfect playground for a film like that. Lily Rose Depp is amazing in this film. She played such a twisted, corrupt woman under Nosferatu's control, and I think she completely stole the show. I think every scene she was in was very creepy, but also very elegant. Her demonic outbursts that were also very sexual and freakish. They either had you freak the fuck out or brick the fuck up. She absolutely killed it. Bravo to her amazing performance. Honestly, the whole cast delivers. I don't think anybody gave a bad performance, but it's crucial to emphasize how much she stood out because she's so prominent and important to the making of the film that it is definitely worth explaining how good of an actress she is. There is somebody that killed this shit, probably more than her though. Bill Skarsgård, that motherfucker don't miss, man. He was in his bag with this one. Completely unrecognizable as Nosferatu. It's uncanny. Watching him disappear into these wildly different roles over the years has been insane. The level of artistry and dedication he displays for each role has simply never disappointed. And I remember one time somebody said that Bill would make a really cool Joker. I agree fully. I think he would kill Joker compared to Barry Keoghan. If James Gunn wants a Joker in this universe, he's got to shoot for him. He has to. He would fucking kill it. I would love to see his iteration of Joker. But the movie was hilarious in the most serious way possible. I loved it and I can't recommend it enough. It is a goddamn banger. So 4.5 stars. I guess I'll include this. I didn't really want to, but I'll include it. Mufasa, The Lion King, directed by Barry Jenkins. I was going to give this movie a solid 3 stars because honestly, that's what it deserves, but nostalgia is a powerful bitch. I like the movie for what it was. Part of the reason why is because I love The Lion King, so I'm already biased there. But to try and compare this film to Lion King, it really is one of one. And you can't live up to those standards, especially if you're completely changing the format and the way the film looks. Mufasa, though, it was okay. Honestly, I'm fine with it at this point because, you know, Disney is going to milk this whole CGI thing for as long as they can. This taking an original story and then transforming it to real life media, it's going to be their money makers for, who knows, the next 10 years. And honestly, there's nothing we can do about it. It just sucks that, you know, you could only imagine how great these films would be if they would just go back to the beauty of animating a film, the beauty of drawing each scene, really making it worthwhile to watch, because it's hard to give credit where credit is due when it doesn't really give you the effect you want. I don't want to rag on it too much because I know a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, emphasis on the blood, sweat, and tears, goes into making CGI for a film like this, just trying to make it as realistic as possible. And it might be a fun process to do, but I'm sorry to all the animators, but it's just not here. The magic is gone, and the magic is what made Disney movies so special. You have that sense of wonder ripped away from you, and you don't really give a shit to. You're kind of just watching two cute lions go through fucked up shit. There's no magical charm there. You're not feeling a sense of wonder. You're not, your imagination isn't flourishing. You're kind of just seeing things play out, and then depending on how you feel about that, it either hits you or it doesn't. And in this case, it didn't hit me. All the original music for the film was fucking garbage too. I didn't really care for the brother song. It's only cute when my girlfriend sings it. The Bye Bye song, I fucking hated that song. And Mufasa and Sarabi's love song was the worst thing I've ever heard. Honestly, if this film didn't have musical numbers, I think it would be a lot better. The reveals fell flat. I couldn't bring myself to care about the moments that were meant to pack an emotional punch. There was one moment that really did hit for me, and it was the moment when Rafiki finally arrives at the tree, when the music from the original film plays in the background, along with the sight of the tree in its most realistic form. That was fucking amazing. But like I said from the beginning, they nostalgia baited me, and you know what? I took it and ran with it. But you know, hey, Mufasa's far from being a perfect film. It's nice. It reminded me of my childhood. But I mean, yeah, it's only because of nostalgia. 3.5 stars. This next one is really cool, and it is the last movie before I actually start watching 2025 films. So here we go. The Substance, directed by Coralie Fargiat. I don't really know much about body horror films, but this film is absolutely incredible. The cinematography is stunning. The visual effects are amazing. The micro shots are fucking peak. Everything on screen, every single detail presented to the audience is so well done that I couldn't help myself but be enraptured by the film. The concept is deeply unnerving because when you think about social media and how everybody jokes around about celebrities being cloned, it's fun to see how this film took that idea and basically just went their own different route with it, because it is just insane. I don't want to give away too much, but let's just say that they took that idea and said, this is nothing, let's go fucking crazier. Demi Moore, I think she really brought out the craziness in this film because that woman knows how to commit. She brought everything to this role, and it was so amazing to see how hard she went, and her efforts should be highlighted because she was the perfect choice. Watching her transform from this beautiful woman to this grueling and disgusting monster, I was genuinely disgusted by her transformation. Again, I don't want to give away too much, but it's so hard to not talk about that with this film because it is just insane to view somebody that's so beautiful and then they immediately go to like Gollum off of Lord of the Rings. You need to see it for yourself. You'll see exactly what I mean. Another star of the show is the queen herself, Margaret Qualley. She's pure cinema eye candy. Every scene of hers was flawless. Her smile, body, hair, attitude. She exuded purity in the most selfish way. Her acting was phenomenal. And alongside Demi, I can't give both of them enough credit. I think they both did amazing. And from the very start to the very finish, they had me. It does get to a point though. That's me coming back with me saying I don't really know much about body horror films. At some point you reach the climax and you're going, this is fucking disgusting, and I don't know if this is for me. I might just be, being too crude and a dickhead for saying this, but it did just remind me of like a South Park and Regular Show episode, because you go from this normal route and then all of a sudden one thing cranks the story and then it amplifies and then now it's the end of the world. Like that's basically how the film goes. I hated the fact that I wanted to look away during that last scene because I physically was sick, but I also physically was unable to because I couldn't believe how insane the events that were playing out were happening. Yeah, no, the violence is definitely exaggerated. It is overwhelming, but also very overstimulating in the best and worst ways possible. I'd recommend this to anyone that wants to experience something just super fucked up. It has gorgeous cinematography, amazing acting, and some of the most insane visuals you will ever see. And if that sounds like your kind of things, then hey, I gave this motherfucker 4 stars. The first film I watched of 2025, and it's not a good one. One of Them Days, directed by Lawrence Lamont. We got a lot of people that hate me for this, but it's the truth. SZA must have said, I want to be in a movie, and they did everything they could to make that happen. Truth be told, this wasn't for me. I think a lot of the marketing said this movie is for the culture, and I do agree. This movie is for the culture. If you're a cultural fucking cornball, the movie had alright jokes. I laughed a couple times. I think the hardest laugh I let out was when they were walking to an apartment complex. You see a weave coming through the apartment complex, which is meant to be a tumbleweed. I laughed. All right, I don't know. I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. As for the acting though, Keke Palmer, she did amazing. She's a really good actress, so I wasn't surprised. And surprisingly enough, SZA did amazing too. I think she's solid. I didn't hate her performance, and maybe I came into it expecting to because I didn't really think she was going to be a good actress. But yeah, no, she did really good. I think if she kept trying to pursue acting, she would do really good. Regarding the story, I don't know. It just felt really lame to me. I get that it's a comedy and comedy is subjective, so it probably was very hilarious to you. And a lot of the bits they showed were just not that funny. They kind of fell flat. But that's my opinion, so you don't really have to listen to me. I was surprised that Cat Williams was a part of this. I just thought that, he'd make it a little bit more funnier if he was, I do like Cat Williams comedy, so that was a bit shocking. But I mean this in the most respectful way possible. This felt like a Tubi movie that had a blockbuster budget. And I don't know. I don't think they were able to capture that funny hood movie essence. I don't know. It was mid. Sorry. 2 stars. This is where things get kind of, jumbled up with the years of releases from the movies. But like I said, I watched these movies. These are bangers, and I need to share them, okay? Civil War, directed by Alex Garland. I did not expect this movie to be good at all. The marketing made it seem so uninteresting. I thought it was just another run-of-the-mill action war movie. And the reason why is because when you watch the trailer, I think it genuinely threw me off. I think it was either a really genius marketing ploy, or maybe they just did it because they knew people were going to come in and watch it. Regardless, it worked. On one side, I believe people came in expecting, yeah, hell yeah, America. But then the other side is really, oh, you want a war movie? Well, here's your fucking war movie. The film just showcases the raw truth about war. It is all seen through the eyes of a journalist. I think what captivated me most about the film were the narrative beats. I absolutely love moments like when they're driving down the road, a car pulls up behind them quickly, and everything after that point kind of just takes a 180 turn in the best way possible. I don't want to give away too much, but there is a moment in the trailer that happens after what I'm explaining, and the trailer gave me low expectations of that scene. But then when I finally watched it in the film, oh my God, it delivered. It was fucking amazing. I think the cinematography is great. Every time someone took a photo and then the film presented that same photo shortly after it, like giving you that satisfying sense of cohesion. But then you also have like those close-up shots of Kristen Dunst or Wagner or Kaylee Spaney's character, and then you just see their face with a blurred background. Oh my God, you can see like every pore, every subtle expression. It was beautiful. I love those shots. Kristen Dunst was phenomenal. I thought her character was very amazing. Kaylee Spaney's character was great as well. I also didn't know who she was. This was my first time watching a film with her. I think she's great. One thing that pissed me off was the fact that she auditioned for the role of Ellie in The Last of Us, and she didn't get it. Why? I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. She fits the bill perfectly. I'm not trying to rag on Bella Ramsey. I know she gets enough hate as it is, but I mean, for fuck's sakes, this was our Ellie. Like it's to a T. The looks, the vibes, the age. It's the perfect range. I couldn't believe that they didn't choose her, and they chose Bella. Wagner Moura, he did his thing. I've loved him since Narcos, where he played Pablo Escobar. This is partly the reason why I wanted to watch this film. He did absolutely incredible. I'm super surprised I enjoyed this. I went in thinking that I was gonna hate it because the trailer made it seem like it was but nah, man. Alex Garland delivered. He's an amazing director, and I have to applaud him completely for changing my mind about the film. 4 stars. Next up, Roma, directed by Alfonso Cuarón. This is such a gorgeous film. It was shot so simple, yet every scene felt so elegant. The presentation is authentic, storytelling in its most purest form. I love all the stylistic choices of having the camera pan in a circle, capturing every inch of the home, because you really feel like you're a part of this home, this big, messy place filled with dog shit lying outside. My family's from El Salvador. I bring that up because I'm not Mexican, and a lot of people get those two confused. I find it very interesting that despite sharing the same ethnic background, there are so many cultural differences that wouldn't normally feel relatable between Mexicans and I, but this film had a way of conveying that feeling of living in the pueblos of a Latin country so perfectly. The beauty and the poverty intertwined in each space, it's something that I related to because of my previous visits to El Salvador and also my visits to Mexico as well. The main actress was beautiful. I loved everything about Yalitza Aparicio. Her look, her energy, her body language. It shocked me that she had never acted before this film because her debut was perfect. I'm very proud of her for being herself, as natural as can be, capturing every essence of the character so effortlessly. I smiled so many times just watching her smile. Her calm little laugh that she does when she's running around the city with her friends. The city's so full of life, by the way. I just imagined recording such a scene, and it baffled me how so many people were involved in the making of this film. This was my second film by Alfonso Cuarón. I never really paid much attention to his name because the first movie I saw of his was Gravity, and I watched that when I was like 13, which was a really cool movie, by the way. But yeah, I didn't really recognize his name as a director, but I did watch a brief interview because I did love this film and I just wanted to learn more about the process of making it. And seeing an interview, he explained growing up with a housemaid and falling in love with her vibe and her kindness, just really recognizing that she deserved to be the heart of a story. I thought that was just beautiful. I saw a lot of myself in the way he spoke. It reminded me also of my grandmother because although she's not a housemaid, she's just a woman who deserves the spotlight more than anyone, but would never even think to ask for it. I love my grandmother, so I think that's part of the reason why this film touched a very special place in my heart. And I don't want to get into spoilers, but the final scene at the beach broke me because everything that led to that last perfect shot, the waves crashing, the fear coursing through the viewer's body as panic settles in from the idea of Cleo. I'm not going to share why, but just know something happens. Actually, I will share why. If you don't want this movie to be spoiled, I don't want it to be spoiled for you if you haven't seen it. Skip to this number right now. The fear going through Cleo's body as she thought these children were going to get swept away by the waves, as she did everything to protect them, and she was successful in her attempt. The sun set down and it shined between the family as they all hugged her, thanking her for what she did. And the part that broke me the most was the fact that although she was able to protect those children at the time, she was physically unable to protect her own child. So heartbreaking, but also touching and wholesome at the same time, because it felt real, it felt genuine. And then when you learn about how they actually shot that scene, how perfect that shot went, how perfect it played out, oh my God, it's as if you're watching a moment in time, in space, in history, a moment that only happens once. They captured the perfect moment, and I couldn't have loved the ending more. It is a raw and passionate feeling. I couldn't even imagine what somebody could go through when having a miscarriage or losing a child. I have never understood that pain, nor do I want to understand that pain. This is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. It's one of one. And please, if you have not seen this, give it a chance. 4.5 stars. Next up, Piece by Piece, directed by Morgan Neville, but more so produced by Pharrell Williams. And I'm bringing that up because it is a film about him. I knew I was going to enjoy this film simply behind the fact that it was made with Legos, but it honestly exceeded all of my expectations. I was never the biggest Pharrell fan, but I've always respected and appreciated his work and dedication to music. I think part of the reason why I didn't really care that much was because he did a lot of kids movies, and although those songs were good, I think the most respected work he's done, in my case at least, I loved all the work he did with Daft Punk. But no, this film made me see him in a whole new light. I loved everything about it. At first, the pacing did throw me off because it's one of those things where, since it's stop motion and with Legos, you don't really get a chance to breathe in everything that's happening. You're kind of just watching it at face value, and it is fun. It's a fun experience. But everything kicks off like from the middle all the way to the end. I think that's where the story really started to settle in for me, and I took it for what it was. A lot of people would probably say this is the most childish, maybe even niche approach to it. But I mean, if you look at it at a more optimistic angle, the sheer creativity behind this is what makes it perfect. Pharrell told his story in a way only he knew how, and I fully respect him for that. To everyone that worked with him along this concept, I applaud you, because I feel like a lot of people would shut the door in your face. They wouldn't hear you out. But this is the best way to tell a story, especially with someone as creative and honest as he is. And it's so incredibly inspiring. There's so much emotion behind my appreciation for this because I relate to his thought process so deeply. Oh yeah, that does sound stupid, but I mean, I've always loved Legos. I love how creative you could be with them. I love the idea you could build and make your own worlds with them. Even if you have two little fucking characters, yeah, guess what? You take a whole bunch of pictures of them, so now you got a story, you got a stop motion film. Part of the reason why I made a stop motion project during my senior year. I love these building blocks, and I think they have such a special place in my heart that I couldn't help but be infatuated by this concept because I think he executed it so brilliantly. The animation used to depict his mind, his story, his childhood, and all the various artists he worked with throughout the years. I was just floored because I would love to pitch an idea like this myself. There's so many vibrant colors, amazing lighting, and to see all the creative ways they portrayed different settings was incredible. There's a scene where he's visualizing music and using Lego bricks. They would shine and vibrate a certain way. He used it in this way to explain how he sees sound. I thought that was incredible. Recreating all the real life moments he experienced in Lego form was both fun and innovative. Seeing other real life rappers as well that were interviewed in their Lego forms was just so fun to see. And then seeing moments like Kendrick Lamar rapping in Lego form, that shit was so cool. I couldn't stop smiling. Like I said, this is such a creative way to share one's history. While I never paid much attention to Pharrell before, I understand completely what type of person he is, and I relate so much to his way of thinking. He's a creative, passionate, and ambitious individual, somebody that truly strives for greatness. I love how he represented the different eras of music, the raw honesty, and how he presented his lifestyle. And the way he pays homage to a bunch of different influences was amazing as well. It was also beautifully delivered. This is how you represent a film. It's pure imagination in the most creative way. I think it's so fun. I couldn't have enjoyed it more. I really do want to thank Pharrell because you inspired me in a way I never expected. I do have the utmost respect for your creativity. I only hope to be as passionate about a project as you were with this one. It was a true reflection of your persona, and I really do hope more people can appreciate this film the way I did. 4.5 stars. Funny thing too, I don't ever like people's reviews on Letterboxd, but this was the first time like I looked at the reviews and I found one that made me fucking laugh. There's a dude that goes by the name Frames of Nick. He has a YouTube channel that's really good. I like a bunch of his stuff. This was my first introduction to him though. He had a review that said, "Them Lego bikinis sexy as shit. What the fuck?" Now that's peak. That's gold right there. That's good. That's very good. Yeah, but shout out Frames of Nick. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Upgrade, directed by Leigh Whannell. This movie's a fucking banger. Major cyberpunk vibes. The cinematography during the action scenes were fucking great. Rigid, but in the most perfectly executed way possible. Precise robotic feelings to it that, I don't know, man. This film caught me so off guard. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. I knew it was gonna be good because someone recommended it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. But nah, man, this film slaps, bro. This shit is hard. What's funny too is before I even watched this film, the only thing like I really knew about it was that Tom Hardy played the main guy. Turns out Tom Hardy is not the main guy. It's a man named Logan Marshall Green, and I thought I never heard of him until I realized he is Shocker in Spider-Man Homecoming, and he's also in Prometheus. He was in this one movie I watched this year called Carry On. I didn't talk about it because I didn't like that movie, but I mean, hey man, he killed it in this one. This was his first time carrying a movie solo, and I think he absolutely nailed it. In my review, I talk about the ending of the movie. I'm not going to do that. I really do think you should watch this film. It's so fucking cool, and it's one of those films you could just throw on randomly, and you would think you don't want to watch it. Just throw it on. Trust me when I say that. It was such a dope-ass film to see. It's so cool. The idea of it is so twisted and it, like I said, related to Cyberpunk. If you've ever played the game Cyberpunk, watch this film. It's fucking gas. I'm very inspired and I'm extremely envious of the people that got to work on this film because they had a low budget and made a fucking banger. Okay, round of applause. 4.5 stars. This is a good movie. Ooh. This next one, boy. This next one. I love this film. Anora, directed by Sean Baker. Amen, 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 say man, amen, say man. Everything about this film is so good. I don't give a fuck. Anora sweeping the Oscars was so goddamn deserved. Sean Baker walked in that bitch and fucking cooked. I love the Florida Project, so I knew I was gonna love this film. But after hearing everybody's opinion on it before I watched it, it only hyped me up more. The acting is top tier. Every single person in this film felt so natural, so real. I love the dialogue that's chaotic and hectic, but it still flows. That's part of the reason why I had a lot of issues with The Bear. I love the show. I thought the first season was incredible, but everything after that point just kind of felt like yelling and rage fuel arguments, but there was no real emotional weight to it. I think it's kind of hard to explain why I felt that way, but I love scenes like the Christmas dinner. That's fucking amazing. But I mean, everything else in between, it kind of just felt like everybody was yelling at each other for no reason. But Anora does the exact opposite of that. I think every argument they had felt so authentic. Every conversation, even if it was filled with swear words and yelling, it was so real. The storytelling was fluid, so well paced. I loved every second of watching this film. And the editing, oh my God, there was no fucking wonder why they won Best Editing. I was grinning ear to ear watching Annie and her Russian boyfriend living it up, partying, traveling, having fun, doing the little sexy stuff. But I mean, besides that, the way the shots were set up, the way everything was spliced together, it was so fun, man. The cinematography as well, like, it's insane that every shot looked as good as it did. And I do just love the style of this film. I think Sean Baker really did do an amazing job directing this, and everybody that worked with him fucking executed it perfectly. Mickey Madison, you stole my fucking heart. I loved everything about your performance. I loved her accent, the seamless switches she did from English to Russian, and each accent she carried was just so good. She's the absolute perfect person for this Cinderella story. She's stunning. She exudes this sexy but elegant nature that is effortlessly captivating. Annie herself is a broken soul, holding up this tough exterior but chasing her own happy ending. Her character arc alongside everyone else's was nothing short of incredible. I really can go on and on about this film, but I'm just gonna let you know that this is 5 stars and I absolutely love this film. Please go watch it. Okay, this is a fun one for me. Happy Feet, directed by George Miller. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Happy Feet is the reason why I like musicals. Mind you, it's a jukebox musical, I know, and it's completely different from an original musical with its own music and score, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck though. This is the reason. This is the reason why I love musicals. I'm so okay with La La Land. I'm so okay with Joker 2. And the reason why is because of this film. It's the truth. I know now why. It's because of Happy Feet. I threw this on just randomly and I couldn't believe how hooked I was on the film. And I don't care. It's just so fun. Watching this film as a kid and then watching this film as an adult is a completely different experience, because as a kid, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I didn't understand anything that was happening on screen. The jokes, whew, right over my head. I didn't understand why the penguins were singing and dancing. I kind of just accepted it. But here I am, 25 years old, and I could disrespectfully say, fuck a plot. I don't give a fuck about a plot. My kid self didn't care about a plot. I don't give a fuck about a plot. And I do hate that argument when it comes to kids movies, because kids movies should have a plot, they should have a message, they should have a story. But this is one of those cases where I'm completely okay with it not having a story. I don't know, man. I just like penguins singing. That's it. I don't know. I think it was just such a fun thing to experience. If anything, I think they tried to have a message and a story towards the end of the movie, but at that point I didn't care. I just wanted penguins singing. There's just so many good scenes. The first hour is jam-packed with fun, stunning, and creative, groovy moments. The soundtrack is fucking peak. Banger after banger, all compiled into this medley that just worked so well together sonically, I guess that's the word for it. But the sound design, it's incredible. Like, if you were to just sit down, close your eyes, imagine it, close your eyes, put the headphones on and watch Happy Feet, trust me when I say this, it's peak. It's so good. The hate this movie gets is fucking outrageous. I don't know what's everyone's problem. This is a fucking 3D animated movie made in 2006, and people were saying that this looked dog shit for 2006. But I mean, Jesus Christ, I thought it looked realistic as shit. I think the animation holds up incredibly. Like, for a 2000s 3D animated film, cut it some fucking slack. This was amazing. And the cast, bro, like Elijah Wood, Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman, Fat Joe. I mean, like, what are we talking about? I love the Spanish speaking penguins, and guess who that was? Robin Williams. Like, what? I don't know. Like, I loved every single penguin, especially the amigos. And I hold that same sentiment now. I think everyone's so fucking hilarious. Every movement, every quip, they're singing, they're dancing. It all just works so surprisingly well. More credit to Robin Williams too, because he's the fucking GOAT and he's so talented in so many ways. It's always heartwarming and inspiring to see him in any of the media he's worked on. But besides all the good, you do hit the end of the movie. I think that's part of the reason why a lot of the people are mad at this film. It does fall off for me too. I loved everything leading up to the ending, but like once Mumble gets abducted and then he's in like that aquatic life reserve, that's where shit just stops making sense, because the whole point is that they're running out of fish, and so Mumble goes out to find out why they're running out of fish. He gets captured, and then he tap dances in front of everyone, and then they go, wait a minute, where the hell did we get that penguin? Oh my god, we gotta go back. We gotta go see what the fuck is going on with those penguins. And then the people show up at the spot where all the penguins are, and then they go, wait a minute, all these penguins are dancing. And then they start dancing with the penguins, and then they're like, you know what, we can't steal these fish from the penguin, because that's the message. They want you to prevent overfishing so that, you know, animals in the Antarctic and stuff, they could survive and eat the fish. I don't know though, it was just such a weird, bizarre thing to add to the end of the movie though. I think it's a good message, yeah, for sure, but it's just weird. And like, especially me as a kid, I thought him being there was honestly terrifying. But yeah, no, truth be told, I'm inspired by this fucking film. It's such a wacky and fun time. It does hold a special place in my heart, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank you, George Miller. I can't believe you did this shit to me 20 years later. That's fucking crazy. 4.5 stars. Another banger on the way, Flow, directed by Jins Zilbalodis. I really hope I said that right. I absolutely love films like this. To be able to capture such an otherworldly experience with so much creativity and realism, but still maintaining that magical feeling through well thought out animation, that's what makes the best kind of product from such a small team with a grand idea. Making something of this quality is a slap to the face of all big corporations that use a grand budget. Disney, but they're still incapable of making something as good as this. These are the kind of artists that deserve the awards. These are the kind of creatives that deserve the spotlight. Say what you will, but opinions are necessary. And when you boil it down to passion, this film exudes passion. When you have a dream and a dedication, that's what I believe deserves appraisal. The narrative is so comforting. I love all the mythological and biblical symbolism behind each animal in their journey. This movie can be interpreted in so many ways. There's no real final say on what is being presented and shown, and I think that's the beauty of the art behind it. It's cute, it's fun, it can be breathtaking but also heartbreaking at times. The perfect roller coaster of emotions. I love the world building that is showcased through the scenery, because we don't know what the fuck is going on, and only thing we have to explain it is the atmosphere. I didn't need the animals talking to explain every little thing that happened to me. I needed emotional reactions, facial expressions, physical body movements to display what is necessary. And guess what? That's what they did. You know, this is exactly what the artist delivered, and to leave their audience wondering of what may be, that's how you create magic, wonder, imagination. And I had a great time watching this. I watched this with my significant other. She loves animals, so it was so cute to see her, you know, freak out because she has a cat of her own, and she just kept, you know, pairing the two together, like, oh my god, that's Bella, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was a cute time. Beautifully animated film. Please go appreciate this work of art. It is great. 4.5 stars. Mickey 17, directed by Bong Joon-ho. I loved everything about this film. It was so fucking good, so much fun, so engaging, so well paced. I can't get over how much of a god Bong is. You could really see how much he's improved as a director through this magical piece of art. There isn't a single thing that I could say that's bad about this film, because that's how much I enjoyed it. Robert Pattinson is my GOAT. He's such a phenomenal actor, and it's always surprising to see how much I enjoy watching him perform. He fits every role he takes on, and to be able to transform into many different characters is truly amazing to witness. Seeing him physically transform to Mickey 17 and to 18 is awesome, or it was awesome. The body language between the two is so different, even if they're made out to be the same individual. I respect the hell out of somebody that can physically alter themselves into multiple roles. This stems similarly to my love for the film Split, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, with James McAvoy killing it as the many different variations of Kevin Wendell Crumb. But yeah, no, I still can't get over how good they made the cloning in this film look. No matter what frame or how complex it may have seemed to have Robert interacting with himself, they managed to execute it perfectly. There was never a moment I was taken out. It was all presented so beautifully. I think the VFX team really barred this bitch up. Such incredible casting too. Every single individual played their roles extremely well. I loved Mark Ruffalo, Steven Yeun, Toni Collette, Naomi Ackie, and so on. Everyone had such interesting characters to play, and watching their development from beginning to end was so satisfying to see. I could go on and on about each person individually, but trust me when I say that everyone in this film is great. I really was smiling ear to ear for the majority of my viewing. This film is just so fun. It's unique. I watched it with my friends and I watched it again. I think now I can confirm that this is my favorite Bong movie. The first one I think is an obvious answer, but Parasite was such an amazing film. But I love this one so much more now, and I really do think it's a masterpiece. 5 stars, baby. A Minecraft movie directed by Jared Hess. Yeah, this shit was ass. Yeah, it's heartbreaking that this is the final product for a Minecraft movie. The amount of time I've spent playing Minecraft is unfathomable. I've probably spent more time on Minecraft than any other game, and I really do love it. I've played this game since I was a child. I hold so much more respect for it even now because me and my friends have been playing it for the last couple months. There was so much character in the simplicity of the game, so much uniqueness that it transcended the timeline of gaming itself. I know the YouTube community was greatly impacted by Minecraft, and it really is responsible for so much in the world as a true Hall of Famer in gaming history. And to soil what made Minecraft what it is, what it stands for, it's just a slap to the face, bro. There's so much wrong with this movie that even parts that were enjoyable were quickly overshadowed by everything wrong with the concept. I've never been more annoyed with Jack Black, and it's insane because Steve is quite literally just him. I couldn't view him as Steve, a silent protagonist, mind you, but instead all I saw was this big tenacious dickhead that just so happened to be in Minecraft. And I love Jack Black. I love Jack Black in so many films. He's incredible in School of Rock. He's incredible in Nacho Libre, and the multitude of films he's been in. You know, he's a great actor. But this role was just him, and I didn't want that here. I didn't want that at all. The rest of the cast was fucking whatever. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jason Momoa was the only character out of the crew that I enjoyed. I am highly disappointed in Danielle Brooks' performance. I understand that this is a kid's movie, and to be honest with you, she probably doesn't know a goddamn thing about Minecraft, but truth be told, there's no heart, no soul. Her performance felt so dry and forced that there wasn't a single moment that felt natural with her on screen. And it pains me to say that because she was incredible in Orange is the New Black. I love that show. I've finished that not too long ago, and I thought she did amazing. And I heard great things about her in Peacemaker. I don't blame her for chasing the bag. I probably would have done the same thing, truth be told. But yeah, no, I was disappointed in her performance. I don't really have any opinions on the boy and the girl. They're children actors. They did what they did, but I don't know, man. I think what rubbed me the wrong way the most was the fact that they were physically there instead of being Minecraft people, you know what I mean? They weren't like a voxel form. If you wanted a CGI film, just make the whole goddamn thing CGI. Like, it honestly would have been so much better if each character transformed into Minecraft form, voxel form. But no, like, yeah, let's put real life humans in Minecraft because that's what everybody wants. I mean, good lord, like, who the fuck pitches an idea like that? There was such stupid and obvious dialogue, so many moments lost in translation because of how mediocre the film made it all seem. It's a disappointment on all accounts. I mean, for fuck's sakes, the fact that you don't get any of that wonder within what makes Minecraft is so disappointing. Like, I've watched YouTubers make better storylines than the Minecraft movie. Like, please, just go watch the best video on YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Mr. Beast made a whole video about it too. The best video he's ever seen on YouTube is a Minecraft video. That video was probably so much better than the actual storyline of the Minecraft movie. And I can give you an example myself. You ever seen the Yogscast Shadow of Israel series? Go watch that shit and tell me that's not better than the Minecraft movie. I don't give a fuck, man. There's nothing iconic to the history of Minecraft. There's no Ender Dragon, no Wither, no end credit poem, no mention of Notch. And like, you know what? You could take all the little references that you got throughout this movie and shove it up your ass. I don't give a fuck. The only cool one was probably the dude with the pig on the crown. I didn't know who he was, but I've heard that he's a beloved YouTuber, and I think he passed away, unfortunately. So I love that they paid homage to him. But I don't know, man. There's so much shit that you could clearly tell that they're saving for more Minecraft movies. Whether or not it'll be in the second iteration of the film, I don't really care, because I don't really want to see it after this shit. It does really suck though. Like, I do love Minecraft. I grew up with the game, so it does mean a lot to me. There were so many great moments I've had with family, friends, and myself. I truly wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for Minecraft. It was where I went to escape. It was where I went to express my creativity. It was a staple in my childhood. And it definitely sucks that this is the representation they assumed could capture that raw, free-spirited emotion. I'm fully disappointed in this film. I guess thanks for the soulless piece of shit adaptation, but I really did never expect a Minecraft movie to be a money grab. I think it lost all touch of what the game truly meant. What did I give this bullshit? I gave it 1.5 stars. Fuck this movie, bro. I don't care. Next up, Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler. This was really cool. I'm having a lot of trouble deciding how I feel about the film. On one hand, I'm very impressed with all the talent's performances and the stylistic choices Ryan Coogler implements throughout the narrative. The look and the cinematography of the film was incredible. There were so many moments that looked so good and were probably very fun to shoot. The grand scene that I know everybody is talking about in the middle of the film was truly a work of art, showcasing the many different eras of music within mostly Black culture, but also a nod to Asian culture as well. That scene alone makes the movie worth watching. So if you ever want to watch this film and realize, like, what the fuck am I watching this for? It's that scene right there. That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I loved everything about that moment. And then you have individuals like Miles Caton, who comes in with his acting debut. He was outstanding, so musically talented. His acting was great as well. He deserves so much more recognition, and I do expect great things to come from his performance here. The first half of the film was very good. I enjoyed the introduction of each character because it gave enough on-screen moments for them to grow individually, so they have a much bigger impact later on throughout the story. But I remember seeing a lot of people saying that the first half of the film was boring. I highly disagree. I honestly think it's the better half of the film. Michael B. Jordan did incredible as the twins. When I watched the trailer for this film, I compared it to Mickey 17 because both movies attempt the cloning effect. And after watching both films, I must say that I'm highly impressed with his performance. Do I think it's better than Robert Pattinson? No, I don't. I don't think it is, but I don't think that's fair to discredit Jordan for that because I think the characters are much too similar, whereas Mickey 17 and 18 were meant to be much different characters despite being the same person. But the twins were very, very similar, so there was nothing really you could do there. He did what he did, and I think what he did with what was written was exactly how anybody would expect him to do. Fucking great. I'm glad he was able to put himself in a much different character than he normally plays because, like I said, it came out great. Haley Steinfeld, Come on now. Loved her southern accent. Her acting was incredible. This is definitely her most impressive performance I've seen. Wunmi Mosaku was incredible as well. I think she did great, and I've only ever seen her in MCU stuff, so I'm glad to see her in things like this because she absolutely killed it. Jack O'Connell was great. Delroy Lindo was great. I have nothing bad to say about anybody's performance. I think the entire cast did wonderful, and there really is so many great things to say about this film. But as I mentioned, there's that other hand. And that's where things kind of lose me. And I'm going to just flat out say it. It's honestly the fucking vampires. I don't know. It's just that first half set everything up extremely well. But I mean, as soon as the vampires show up and everything starts to fall, that's where I end up becoming disappointed. This element of music and black culture suddenly transpired into black people versus racist vampires. I don't know, man. It ended up feeling so weird to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. Visually, everything is so fucking cool. Seeing all the vampires outside dancing to the Irish folk music and everybody looking demonic / satanic was chilling. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody, you know, they when they preyed on individuals like cornbread, that shit was creepy, but it was cool to see. And the film had so many cool horror moments. Like I love the conversation between cornbread outside where they're just like, why the fuck can't you just come in? No, you gotta let me in, you know what I mean? And then he tries to bite the arm. I'm only gonna spoil it because I feel like this is one of those films that like everybody had to have seen. I don't know. I think it's the entire concept of vampires that's weird to me. Maybe if the music had much more of an impact other than like the monologue at the beginning of the film where it was Preacher Boy saying like, the devil will come for me for playing for these white folks, or something like that, I think I'd be more content with the final half. It made me laugh that we shifted from this beautifully executed blues and soul setup only to end up with, hey man, there's vampires outside. We go outside, everybody's gonna turn into a vampire. There's nothing we can do about it. I might just be asking for too much because I do understand that they show up because they're drawn by the music, especially Jack O'Connell's character, but I don't know, man. It felt as though beats were being jumped quickly, and I don't think there was ever really time for any of them to stick. And the ending was bittersweet, only because they dead ass all could have died in that final standoff. They were completely outnumbered, and I'm surprised they weren't just ganged up and murdered, but I mean, plot armor, I guess. You would also think that the vampires were more aware of the sun, because if they're all linked in, you know, as one mind, they all understand each other, then they all know like, hey, once the sun comes out, we got to get the fuck out of here. That's just the way it goes. Why is it that only Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld were the only ones to know that and get the fuck out? They all kind of just waited it out and died though. So that was it. I don't think the movie is bad though. It was great. That's the truth. It was a great film. I honestly would recommend this to anybody. It is an enjoyable experience by all means. I do think it's deserving of the recognition it's getting. When the film first dropped and there was the few reviews that were coming out, a lot of people didn't like it, saying that it was overhyped and it was undeserving of the reviews it was getting. But I highly disagree. Everybody has their own opinions, and I think that loving and giving this movie 5 stars is completely reasonable. Although I have my opinions of the film, I honestly believe that maybe I'm the weird one, because I wanted the film to focus more on music and not vampires. I don't want to judge anybody for rating the film positively. And this also may not be the most original vampire film, but clearly the vampire stuff is what throws me off. So I can't really argue with similarities to other pieces of media. But I mean, just to wrap up my thoughts, I did really enjoy this film. I'm highly impressed with Ryan Coogler. I'm impressed with the cast. It was a great watch, and I really do hope this is one of one. A lot of people are saying they're going to make more of this type of film. This should have been it. This was great. There's literally no need for more of this. Leave it how it is. I give this 4 stars. Thunderbolts, directed by Jake Schreier. Finally, some good fucking food. Took Marvel long enough to showcase something meaningful. Even though this wasn't an idea I was particularly hyped about, it just proves that I'm always down to root for the underdogs. Thunderbolts was a fun watch, action-packed, surprisingly capable of maintaining a consistent theme without derailing into some bullshit or unfunny joke. Each character pretty much redeemed themselves throughout this narrative, going from mediocre vigilante to actual lovable hero. I had a feeling this cast was going to mesh well together, especially if the MCU was gunning for their own Suicide Squad. It may not seem like the hardest thing to execute, but I'm just glad that they made a bunch of depressed, raunchy anti-heroes work without, you know, feeling exactly like the Suicide Squad. Here's the thing though, even though I don't have any major complaints about this film, I wouldn't go around giving it some crazy high rating either. This is not a 5-star movie by any means, and if you feel that way, then yeah, you're allowed to feel that way. But I mean, the highest I think we should go is 4.5, because if you're really emotionally invested into these characters, then yeah, sure. I think this film just reinforced the fact that all we've been asking for is good writing, thoughtful storytelling, and some actual creative direction paired with solid cinematography. But yeah, when this film came out, we needed this one to hit. Marvel was pushing out nothing but bullshit, and I think that if they handle each cast the same way they held the same respect for this one, the films would do a lot better. I used to watch everything the MCU dropped. I wanted to see where the story would go, but everything became repetitive. Everything started becoming murky, and I kind of was done after I saw that whole entire series with Echo. I couldn't believe that they centered a whole show around that one annoying bitch from Hawkeye. I really don't fucking care. I didn't care about her character. I don't discredit the actress in any way. That's not her fucking fault that they gave her a whole show. But the fact that Marvel gave that character a whole show was dog shit. That shit pissed me the fuck off. They're stuck in this multiverse timeline and it's all tangled up now. Thankfully, Loki came in and fixed it as much as he could. But I mean, we need to understand why these heroes are brought together. What it meant to be a hero before Endgame should be the foundation of how we introduce these new big names. I mean, come on now. There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. So when they needed us, we could fight the battles that they never could. That is why Thunderbolts works. Bucky is the only popularized member of the bunch, and truth be told, his role in this felt fucking pointless. There was like 2 cool scenes with him, and the rest of the film he was just there. But I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. I'm glad the spotlight focused on the rest of the crew because they're the ones that deserve the spotlight. And although the narrative centered around Sentry, this was literally Black Widow too. This was Yelena's redemption arc because so much of the story has been built up for her, and we finally got a chance to witness her face those fears, her past, the death of her sister, the loss of her family, everything that was weighing her down, and she still has to deal with life post-blip. This was her moment to stop feeling alone, to find guidance in her father, and honor her sister. And although it may not seem like it, Romanov carried a great weight in the MCU. I mean, she was an Avengers for fuck's sakes. Like, her legacy deserves the recognition. Ghost, played by Hannah John Kamen, fully redeemed herself in my eyes. I loved her attitude in this compared to the garbage Ant-Man movie she was in. U.S. Agent Wyatt Russell, he did great. I actually liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so to see him come back was actually really cool. Red Guardian, David Harbour, he did his thing. He was way more enjoyable to watch this time because I did not like him in Black Widow. And even Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she was incredible as Valentina. She's just this cold-hearted bitch, and I love seeing that because we finally have somebody that's just despicable and actually evil that we can, you know, have some type of attitude towards her. I'm glad we finally figured out too that she was the one that bought Stark's building. That's been one of those things in the MCU that nobody knew who the fuck did. Now we know it's her. But the highlight of the film is definitely Bob and Yelena. Louis Pullman and Florence Pugh, I think their chemistry, the acting, the message, everything just worked together so well. I will admit though, Yelena is starting to feel just like Florence at this point. I think she's just very cute, very direct, and just her. But the storyline with one another was enjoyable to witness. I think even if some of the lines were a little corny, overall I walked away really happy. Depressed homies win again, you know, through the power of friendship. The ending was predictable as hell though. There's no way they were gonna kill Sentry, and honestly, if they would have, that would have been bullshit because he's a cool character and I want to see more from him. It was a solid watch though. I definitely recommend it. Another thing I wanted to add too was the fact that they kept marketing it as the new Avengers, and then they just stayed with that. they just stayed at being the new Avengers. I thought they were gonna go towards like a dark Avengers route, but yeah, no, they just kept it as it was. It was good though. I love Bob. I love Yelena. I love that the MCU actually was doing something good throughout 2025. Yeah, no, I gave this film 4 stars though. It was great. Lilo and Stitch, directed by Dean Fleischer Camp. Another live action Disney film not living up to its original plot expectations. I'm not gonna shit all over this. That seems to be the general opinion anyways, so I'll say this instead. It was a lot better than I expected, but overall there were too many disappointing things that I couldn't just accept. It's unforgivable at this point to have to accept what Disney offers us just because it's too hard to do. Don't give me that. Don't give me that bullshit. I cannot express this enough. Don't put out a live action film if you are gonna make grand changes that just aren't better. I don't fucking care what you say. You can make minor changes to the plot. And hell, there were even some that felt more cohesive and realistic to the world of Lilo and Stitch. But I mean, that wasn't enough to win me over. Your little wins here and there weren't enough to make this movie good. I mean, for fuck's sake, Disney, you have too much money and too much control over the entire business to tell me that anything is too difficult. Don't give me that shit, bro. The purpose and magic of making a Disney movie is to make the impossible a reality, imagination into reality, making kids awe and wonder like, how the fuck did they make Stitch real? He's fucking real. Like, you need kids to blow their goddamn minds that Stitch is real. They need to see Gantu in his craziest form in real life. That's how you get the children going. That's how you do it. That's what Disney fucking was. How the fuck did you expect us to react back in the day? I watched Disney films and I was in absolute awe at what I was watching because you've crafted something so perfect, and yet you can't fucking do that now because you're too stuck in original plot hell. Like, you keep stealing these original ideas and then trying to make something out of your own. Obviously nobody's gonna like this shit. I wanted to love this. I trusted the director because he seemed like a genuine guy, and he did attempt a lot of the things people were asking for. The team studied the original storyline, and they even brought back amazing things like Stitch's original voice actor, even the Kamehameha school singers. That was a surprise. And also, they brought the voice of Nani back. She played the social worker. And there was so many things overshadowed by all the disappointing things they did. Jumba being the main villain blew as a concept. Gantu not being in the film at all was disgraceful. There was zero mentioning of the ugly duckling story. That was fucking annoying. That was probably the one thing that pissed me off the most. The film felt fast-paced. There was no room to breathe at all. From the start to the halfway point, everything is on go the entire time, which is insane to say because the original film is only like an hour and 20 minutes, whereas this one is an hour and 40. I think that's crazy, but I mean, I guess that's the difficulty in converting animation to real life. I will admit that Stitch looked really good on screen. I thought he looked great. The actresses for Nani and Lilo killed it. I would love to see more of them in future films that aren't Disney related. There's actually a lot that is really good with this new iteration, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to make the live action remake better than the original, which will always be the case. Maybe one day we'll have one that we could say, you know what, that was to the original. That was exactly what we wanted. This was cool to watch because it was just the movie live and they didn't disgrace it in any ways. I don't even know if Moana's out yet, but I mean, maybe that one is gonna do it, you know? Who knows? I don't even fucking know. 3 stars though. Next up, F1, directed by Joseph Kosinski. Look, I mean, as much as I want to dookie all over this movie, I had a great time watching it. I was with my 2 close friends and it was just a hilarious time watching it. F1 follows your typical sports movie beats. Rookie, hotshot, too cool for school, paired up with an old head, too arrogant to give a fuck, and he's clearly better than him. Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, they're great actors, so they did great in their roles because they played the characters exactly to how it was meant to be played. Yeah, but this movie has some shit writing. Yeah, this dialogue is purely written for American dads, which was proven, especially in the theater I was watching this at. I would laugh at specific shit, but then my laugh would get fully overshadowed by all the belly laughs from the big bad dads in the motherfucking audience. Yeah, no, there were some stupid, cringy ass moments, and it was also very predictable. There's a point where Brad Pitt says something along the lines of, "Man, you're always on your phone, man."
Man, don't you understand, man? That's all just noise, man. It's all just noise, bro. You gotta get off your phone, man. I don't know. It was just stupid because, like, later on, Damson's character repeats the same horse shit to his fucking homeboy, and then he does a complete 180 and goes against Brad Pitt's advice. Like, I don't know, man. It was just fucking dumb. The romance in the film was wildly unnecessary, but I liked Carrie Condon. I thought she was very cute. Her Irish accent was very cute, so I didn't mind the romance. The film juggles way too many pointless subplots, which is insane considering the runtime is 3 goddamn hours. Completely unnecessary to be that goddamn long. They could have cut every single one of those unfinished plots and just left it at a 2-hour mark. I definitely won't be rewatching this film because of that. But I mean, the reason why this film is a fun time though, it was a spectacle through and through. I mean, recounting everything from a film perspective, this was impressive as fuck. Every race, every setting, every sound shot, it was also presented well. I mean, I can't stress this enough. The film is top tier when it comes to cinematography and sound design. Like, the realism that comes from the attributes and essence of F1, it elevates the viewing experience tenfold. Like, I remember my brother-in-law telling me that the behind the scenes, they worked so critically when it came to the sound that they had actual F1 drivers listen to audio of the track, every twist, every turn, just to really nail down those specific details from reverberation, braking, acceleration, wind, weather. Everything was accounted for, and I don't take that as a fact. That's just what I was told, so I just believe it. You know what I mean? I trust his word. But yeah, no, I mean, like, hey, it shows in the film. You know what I mean? I didn't feel pulled out of it. The action speaks louder than words because every single racing scene was genuinely fucking awesome to witness. The movie is just hell yeah America though. It's all good until somebody starts opening their mouth. The music choices were dog shit. Apparently Hans Zimmer was a part of this film. I don't know where Hans Zimmer was during this. I think he was somewhere. The only time I caught him was when Brad Pitt drove away and like towards the end of the movie. But I mean, for the most part, everything was just EDM trash, and I like rave music, so the fact that I didn't like it is fucking crazy. Shout out TSO in the club. I thought that was cool. But regardless of that, F1 was cool to experience. As much as I don't fuck with the story, visually, it's one of the most impressive watches of the year. I highly recommend you to just turn your brain off, go into the movie, get drunk, get high, have fun. It doesn't matter, bro. Just have a good time with it. It's a piece of shit film, and it is fun. Ford versus Ferrari is so much better though. Go watch that shit instead. 3.5 stars. And now we talk about the GOAT. Superman, directed by James Gunn. Gunn don't jam. I'm highly impressed with this. I was not a Superman fan until I finished this film, and I finally understand. I finally understand what it feels like to root for Superman, because it's kind of like when America all banded together to root for Stephen Curry in the US finals of the fucking Olympics.
Back to Curry, dancing on Batum, over the double team. Oh!
This film was amazing, and it wouldn't have been if it wasn't for our main boy, David Cornsweet. He stepped onto the throne and owned that shit with everything in him. This man is Superman through and through. I have mad respect for Henry, and I get there's a lot of love for all the other live action versions of Superman. This is the first time I've ever seen somebody take on the mantle and completely change the game. Say what you want, say what you will. You are not changing my mind. David is Superman. Nobody is competing with that. I'm sorry, you're not. The movie was straight up fun from beginning to end, which is classic for Gunn. It's wild, it's funny, it's explosive, but yet he still manages to keep the energy and pacing on point and on schedule. The main supporting cast absolutely killed it. Rachel Brosnahan was a solid Lois Lane, no complaints at all. Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific was fire. I didn't know shit about the character, but now that I do, I'm a fan. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was perfect. Isabella Merced, beautiful and powerful as she is, she crushed it as Hot Girl. And my main dog, Skylar Gisondo, I think he did great as Jimmy Olsen. And shout out to Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho. It was so cool to see you in that makeup because I know you from Barry and I thought you did great in Barry, but you did amazing as Metamorpho as well. The entire cast did great, but there is somebody that deserves a lot more recognition than the rest of them. Nicholas Hoult. Oh my God. Hoult gave a performance I did not expect. He brought out this insane, hateful energy to the role that obviously is fitting to Lex Luthor, but he sold it so goddamn well. And I had my doubts at first because it was the look for me. I didn't think he fit the look of Lex Luthor, but now that I seen him perform and I seen the way he acts as Lex was incredible. He is leagues better than Jesse Eisenberg. I like Jesse Eisenberg, but not him as Lex Luthor. That was bullshit. Crypto the Superdog was nothing short of amazing to see. CGI throughout the film was perfect. Nothing was taking me out of the film. Everything was gorgeous to look at. The color grading was beautiful. The scenery was perfect. Honestly, I don't have any complaints about the film. It's a full-blown banger front to back. This is Superman. Even though he's getting beat down and destroyed throughout the entirety of the film, he did whatever he could to protect people with his powers. Whether it was civilian, villains, dogs, robots, squirrels, Superman would save them. And that's how you do it. That's how you get me going, at least. He isn't just some beat-em-up brawler. Superman is the symbol of hope. And in order to maintain that title, it has to be proven through his actions. The way he didn't walk up to the reporters after defeating the kaiju was proof in itself that David is just this amazing person that can capture Superman's essence so perfectly. He embraced the youth, he smiled with them, he laughed, he was glad they were okay. It's just such a great iteration of the source. I mean, he's fully capturing the essence that comes from being the Kryptonian. And look, to be honest with you, if you got a problem with the movie being too woke, then truth be told, you could go fuck yourself and fuck any of the MAGA nerds that have a problem with it. I don't give a fuck, man. Thank you, James Gunn. You officially converted me into a Superman fan, and I really can't wait to see how your DC universe unfolds. The studio couldn't have put their hands in a better person. I gave this 4.5 stars when I first watched it. I rewatched it. I don't care. This is a 5-star movie. This is a masterpiece. I love this film. 5 stars for Superman. The Fantastic Four: First Steps, directed by Matt Shakman. Man, here's the thing. This shit was fantastic. I mean, it's solid in its effort, a much more creative approach for an MCU film. I think the biggest strength this movie had was the world building. The atmosphere was crafted so well. New York in this 1960s futuristic timeline looked awesome. Everything presented to the audience was outstanding. And I do have to give a round of applause to the set designers with their usage of practical props, because I genuinely love the look of their home all the way down to the city streets. Regarding the heroes, though, I think each cast member did their thing. As much hate as Pedro gets, he's a great actor, and I'm liking his version of Reed Richards so far. Everything he's done with the character is great, but I don't like what the film is doing with the character. Reed Richards, from a comic perspective, is way more wacky and expressive, especially when he's still the good version of himself. I really wanted to see more of Mr. Fantastic's powers, but most of the film, bro's just a regular schmegular guy. Stretch those damn body parts more. Or I want to see him stretching across the whole board writing equations, but no, you're just a regular dude. Like, it's kind of boring. Vanessa Kirby was great as Invisible Woman. She's gorgeous and fits the part extremely well, but at times it's kind of easy to disconnect. She just looks very English. Her character is also written very weird, but yeah, no, a lot of the blame isn't on the actors and actresses right now. It's the writers. Don't get me wrong. I mean, for the most part, it's fine, but I mean, there is just certain moments that just feel weird. Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch was good too. I just think he fits the role kind of weird. I don't know, he just doesn't feel like the character to me. I think him as a person, he just doesn't care about the MCU, which is fine, I guess. It's just this weird feeling I get, because I just feel disconnected with him being this character. He just doesn't feel like Johnny Storm to me yet. Like, I will admit, like in Deadpool and Wolverine, Chris Evans, who played Captain America for years, felt like the Human Torch in that little moment he played him. It's shit like that. Like him right now, he just doesn't feel like him to me. But he does look cool flying around in the flame mode. The VFX was really cool, but I mean, just comparing this performance to someone like Eddie Munson off of Stranger Things, I think he did great in Stranger Things. Here, you know, it's kind of whatever. I do love his relationship with Thing though, and talking about the Thing, shout out to Evan Moss. I think he did really good. That's my cousin right there, man. He did great. I think his voice is amazing. He fits the bill perfectly well. Can't complain. I think the CGI on the Thing was fucking insane. It looks great. The only thing I didn't like though was the line itself. It's clobbering time. Yeah, work on it, buddy. That shit was ass, and I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck if it's his first time saying it. I want you to hit that bitch. You feel me? And that shit did not hit. But it is a fun movie. The stakes feel high, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's like no real threat. And the intro works for the heroes, but I wouldn't say the plot is great. Honestly, that's not a huge issue. It's just the truth. The story is just kind of flat. And there were moments I just straight up groaned at. Sue Storm's speech outside the Baxter building was fucking bullshit. I don't even want to get into how dumb it was. I loved Julia Garner. I think she did an incredible performance. The VFX team needs all the praise for the way they made her look. She was surfing on lava, the city, a fucking black hole. She was the coolest part of the film, and I loved everything about her. Fuck everybody that was talking shit about Shallow Ball, and then there's Galactus. Jesus Christ, I don't know, man. It felt surreal seeing Galactus. I mean, that shit felt like 2012 all over again when we first saw Thanos at the end of Avengers. It just felt crazy to finally see like the next big threat that isn't the next big threat, because obviously Doom is the next guy. But Galactus was a little disappointing though. As cool as he is, he kind of just shows up smaller than I'd hope, and then kind of gets the fuck out of there. And I really did think the movie was going to end with him destroying their world and forcing them to go to the main MCU Earth, because I thought that's just how it was all going to go. But no, we don't know nothing. We know nothing. And yeah. Ralph Ineson was great casting though. I think he's a great Galactus. His booming ass voice and the look of him is fucking amazing. You know, it was a good time. Yeah, Fantastic Four was fun. My only complaint is that I want to see more. I see the effort, I see the development. I just need more. These characters are really cool, and I don't think this was better than Thunderbolts, which is crazy because this is a team that's supposed to have a lot of chemistry within them. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see more of them in Doomsday. Shout out Natasha Lyonne. Shout out Travis Scott, because your song did make this fucking movie way more hype than it should have been. And shout out Franklin Richards. But when the fuck are we gonna stop using CGI babies? It just looks weird. Oh, but the score is very good too. I love the Fantastic Four theme. But yeah, I want to give this 4 stars because of the memes, but the truth is it's 3.5. It's a 3.5 movie. Sorry. Give me more. Give me more and I'll give you 4. Next up, The Wild Robot, directed by Chris Sanders, who just so happens to be the original director of the first Lilo and Stitch film, the only Lilo and Stitch film, the perfect Lilo and Stitch film. And guess what? This movie's great too. I love this movie. I think the storytelling, voice acting, art style, expressive animation they used was so goddamn good. This is a heartfelt, feel-good movie. It exceeded all my expectations, and I'm honestly in disbelief by how much I enjoyed it. It is a beautiful tale that didn't need some crazy origin story to set the tone. It is just a robot in the wild, kind of like Baymax style, where it just wants to help everything that it meets. But the beats of the story is what makes this movie so clever. I loved watching Roz adapt to their environment based on perception, because each animal it would see, it would start to use the different sets of skills they have, and from the beginning of the film to the end, Roz uses it to her advantage. When it all comes full circle, it really is beautiful to witness. The story flows so effortlessly, because one moment Roz is seeking guidance and tasks, next she finds this goose egg, and now she's trying to keep this goose egg alive. It's just such a quick and easy way to shift and turn that it all just ended up working out really well, as simple as it sounds. I think Lupita did an amazing job as Roz. Her voice was so wildly different than I expected. Very different from what I'm normally hearing from her. I honestly thought there were like multiple people playing as Roz because that's how much her range was insane. She did so many different accents that was amazing that I didn't think she could pull off. So it caught me by surprise. Pedro Pascal also killed it. He's super fitting as the sleazy fox voice, kind of like the fox from Zootopia. Bright Bill's baby voice was really cool too, so good job to Kit Connor. You know, I did love everything about this film. There's a lot of good moments, and I couldn't really pick a favorite. There's this scene where Roz is using her hand to like dodge a bunch of raccoons, and she's pretending that it's like a football player, so it's like running around like this, like a football player. I thought that shit was so fun. The film is just so emotionally accessible. I kind of just let my heart open to the film, and I think it filled it with a lot of love. This is one of those films where I didn't hear a lot of people talk about, and it kind of shocked me because it's so well made. Can definitely feel the love and passion that was poured into this project, and I do got to give, you know, props to Chris Sanders and every animator and crew member who was a part of this beautiful experience. And I'm very, very inspired. 10 out of 10. I give it 5 stars. Crazy pull right now. Mad Max Fury Road. Guess who it's directed by? Yeah, George Miller. Yeah, what did George Miller direct, guys? Fucking Happy Feet. And guess what? Mad Max is a goddamn banger. And oh my god, I have never seen this film. I was completely blown away by how amazing it was. It is high-paced, high energy, action-packed. There is stunning visuals with incredible combat and stunt work. It made this movie so fun. Each car chase is jam-packed with its own flavor of violence, explosive spears, flamethrowers, pole attachments, knives, spikes ramming, you name it. No matter what, you are getting insane visuals paired with insane combat, and it's awesome to see. The music is fucking great. So much emotion and thrill sprinkled within cinematic moments, like during the sandstorm scene. Seeing the war boys get blown into the dust tornado was so fucked up, but it was so gorgeous. The destruction and physics behind each vehicle was so beautifully done. There were certain moments where the VFX was a little wonky, but it's just so cool to see how much detail and love they put into each destructive moment. And I will admit, like, even though some VFX scenes were kind of weird to look at, the ones that were amazing to look at made up for it. Like, I can excuse the more, you know, not so important shots for the bigger, grander shots, because you could really see where they put their money for. You notice that they put their money into this scene for a specific reason. Yeah, no, Max was just, he was him, bro. Every move felt impactful. There was real strength and weight behind every pivotal motion, not only from Max, but from every character. War Boys and Furiosas clique included. Max himself is funny enough. He's like a madman. He's swift and sporadic. He comes off deranged and psychotic, but his skill set is so precise. You could tell that he is a veteran of the wasteland. Every war party had its own strategy, style, and vehicle design, and that's just such a dope way to build the world without over explaining. Their look and their behaviors is what makes them memorable, and there are just so many cool details that even if it comes in such quick fire bursts, you experience such dope ass little moments within a scene. Like, there's this scene where a dirt bike soars over the war rig and it drops a grenade, but then there's also moments where like gun bullet shells fly all over the pregnant woman's stomach, and it's like the fact that they're able to make a scene so fucking crazy with somebody dropping grenades into a car, but then also have bullet shells fly across her belly in this beautifully executed scene. It's just, dude, it's just, the movie is just badass. I mean, oh my god, the orchestral combat tracks, they really do go so fucking hard. It has amazing pacing. Every action leads to another situation without feeling any fatigue. I mean, the adventure is thrilling from start to finish. The color grading looks incredible. The deep blue nighttime look is so aesthetically pleasing. Perfect use of day for night. It really was incredible, bro. Like, incredible acting all across the board. Every single person played their part to perfection. Shout out Tom Hardy. Shout out Nicholas Hoult. Charlize Theron. Applause to everyone, bro. I would call everyone out, but trust me when I say they all did fucking good, bro. This film is deserving of every flower. This is peak fucking cinema, and I understand fully now why everybody says this movie is a banger, bro. I never understood before, but now I do. Max being the blood bag that he is, revealing his true self to Furiosa as she drifted to sleep. It was just fucking beautiful, bro. And can I just say the ending is like my favorite part. Let them rise up, literally rising to glory, and then they give water to the masses, bro. Oh my god, it's just so beautiful. Thank you, George Miller. You did it again. I'm always late to your movies, bro, and you're just such a great director. You might be my favorite director of all time. I don't even care, bro. Happy Feet goated. Mad Max goated. It's deserving of all its flowers. Oh my god, it's just amazing, bro. Mad Max 5 stars. I don't care. Weapons, directed by Zach Kreger. This was really good. I was first intrigued by the trailer, but after watching the film, it exceeded all my expectations. I had so much PTSD watching because it took me back to high school when my media arts teacher told us to make a 4-story narrative, and this film executed a multi-story narrative very well, so it kind of, made me very envious, and I was like, oh wow, that's really cool if they managed to pull it off. The beginning of the film was pretty ass to me though, which is, I guess, typical from that kind of idea. It is just a slow, kind of boring start. But I mean, once the story builds up and then everything starts circling back to the most important moments, that's where you really get the feel of it. It is like a negative turned positive, so I'll leave it at that. But I think every actor and actress that they followed did really well. Julia Garner did great in this role. I think she did amazing. She played her part well, even though I didn't really like her character. A lot of the cast was good. I don't really want to get into it too much, so I'm just gonna name off the big hitters right here. Josh Brolin did great for being the fucking determined father. Benedict Wong was amazing. He did fucking cool. He looked insane with the way they made him look. I couldn't believe how unrecognizable and uncomfortable his transformation was. Those bulging eyes and the mix of the black hair and black goo and just everything that worked with him, all the blood and sweat on his face, it was fucking insane. Amy Madigan as the witch did really cool as well. This was my first time seeing her in a film, and I think her part was very effective. She was definitely very creepy, especially in her whole clown getup. I do think the movie was a unique watch. It's not the most insane thing I've seen with the cinematography, but I think the shots were good and the storyline was interesting. The film did drag on a bit. You could feel the length of the movie, but I think that's natural. Like I said, when you're following multiple storylines that come together in the end. It was just such a fucked up situation though for Carrie Christopher's character. As young as he is noticeably talented. He plays his role amazingly, and I have to tip my hat to the kid. The movie isn't like jump scary though. It's more like watching a horrible scenario just turn even worse. The beats were very good, especially after the beginning portion of the movie. One thing I did not like though, and I'm just gonna flat out say, because it's the stupidest fucking thing. There's a moment where Josh Brolin's character is in a dream, and he finds the house where all the children are, and there's a big ass gun on top of it. And that was fucking stupid. I didn't think that was cool. I didn't even want it to be explained to me. I think that was the dumbest shit ever. Why is it that the entire police department didn't think to do what him and Julia Garner's character did? I think that was the pairing. You mean to tell me these parents were the only fucking ones to link the houses together and then find the medium point? Yeah, no, the ending was the craziest part to me though. I feel like people didn't appreciate it enough. So I'm just going to flat out say what happened. I couldn't believe that they seriously made these kids devour the witch. They full on made them eat her. That was hilarious. Literally straight out of Zach Hadel's mind, the creator of Smiling Friend. Yeah, no, I couldn't believe that the studio greenlit that idea. It's just something that I feel like you pitch it and they go, yeah, no, you're not doing that. So the fact that they did it was horrifically awesome to witness. It was a good time though. I enjoyed it a lot. I was gonna give this film 4 stars because that's how I felt walking out of the theater, but then I remembered that they used AI art from one of their like trailers or whatever, and I don't know, it's fucking cringe. So they get 3.5 just for that. I really don't care. Good movie overall though. Go watch it. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, directed by Jeff Fowler. I watched both Sonic 1 and 2 in preparation for this film. The first one was okay, but it wasn't good. The second one was fucking terrible. I fucking hated it. It's just crazy just to see the way these movies have been going. I do love Sonic. If you watch my channel, I make that pretty obvious. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. He's fucking sick. I love him so much. And it's cool to see like these movies go from like the redesign where it's that ugly Sonic to the Sonic we have now. Because the Sonic we have now really does look great. I do love the look and style of him. I also love the voice of him. I think that's more so behind the fact that I love Ben Schwartz. I think Ben is a great person himself. I think he's so genuine, wholesome, and fun, and a fun-loving human being that I can't help but find his rendition endearing. You don't get that "you're too slow" cocky-ass attitude from Sonic, but we do get like this braggadocious, self-uplifting nature from him that I think fits the role well. I don't think he's the perfect voice for Sonic, but I do like what we have for the cinema adaptation. My biggest issue with the Sonic universe is the inclusion of the modern world. There's something about it that just feels campy. I mean, because in the games, it's never really explained why Sonic and his friends are on Earth. They're kind of just there. And even in like the animated series, it works a lot better because you're basically sold on the idea that these animals co-inhabit Earth. But I don't know, when the movie tries to justify it and then they twist it into something that isn't even interesting, it kind of just soils the whole world building altogether. I mean, like, Sonic is canonically from Earth, or Mobius, which is like a version of Earth, but I wish they leaned more into like the alien-esque type of world like the old animated films would, because that's where like the charm is. Or like even with the Archie comics, I think those would have worked a lot better. It just sucks to see them go from like this magical type land to a town called Green Hill. And the fact that we're just supposed to just buy into it, sure, okay, I'll bite. But then you introduce this whole group of individuals that I don't fucking care about, like Donut Lord and the rest of the humans who try way too hard to be funny, and it's just not funny at all. It makes me not want to invest in the universe. The side characters and the random human beings trying to get a bin in is just too fucking annoying. It is a kids movie, I guess I'll give you that, but I mean, you're talking about one of the most legendary video game characters of all time. You know Mario, but right behind Mario there's Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. He isn't just some unknown guy. He's the guy. He's the mascot of Sega. And Sonic games are objectively bad, but conceptually, they are some of the most unique and coolest pieces of media to ever exist. I grew up loving him. The storylines may not be the greatest, but the games have heart in them, and you could tell. And that's enough to keep me believing in the franchise and the characters. But now, about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It was a lot better than expected. Way better than the first one, and 100 times better than the second one. But this one was fun. Jim Carrey is the best part of all these films, but I'll admit he's a little too goofy in this third installment. Shadow, voiced by Keanu Reeves, was cool to an extent. The Maria backstory was handled fine, but it leaned towards a more cheesy storyline rather than the grim and dark version. Shadow spends half of the film aura farming, which is disappointing only because the movie struggles to make any real impact with his violence or his actual character. Like his introduction, for example, it felt bland. His attacks look like they should be devastating, but on screen he's just kicking semi-hard and actors go flying. But I mean, the shit we really came for, the Sonic versus Shadow fight was great and it was fun to watch. But I will admit it needed a little bit more oomph, you know what I mean? Like, look, the use of humans, that was fucking dumb. I'm sorry, James Martin, like, you're cool, but fuck you as Tom. Tika Sumpter, Shima Moore, Natasha Rothwell, fuck all of you two and your stupid ass characters. I'm not even judging you guys as actors or actresses. I just hate your guys' character and all of this. I just want more Sonic. The ending was really cool though. Like, even if it didn't last long, I did want Live and Learn to hit a little bit harder. They didn't give me enough of that. I really do wish they used City Escape. So many wasted opportunities, but it is a fun movie to throw on if you don't care as much, especially at least till you get to the end, which is the coolest part where they both go super. I don't know, man. I hope to see more growth within this universe.
And I do feel autistic as fuck for rambling this long about Sonic the Hedgehog. 3 stars. One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. This film was a huge problem for me, because how the fuck am I gonna make something of this caliber ever? I don't know how to fully express the raw feeling I held when I'm walking out of the theater, but please understand that I was in utter shock and disbelief by how incredible this experience was. PTA, what have you done to my future in film? The fact that I've been holding off on talking about this video itself was because of movies like this. I just couldn't really understand that a movie like this was made, and I had to talk about it because it just hurt me so much. I don't know, man. This is really just one of the greatest films of the year, and I was furious and inspired all at the same time behind it. The narrative just holds so much momentum. The pacing is perfect. The acting is in a different league of its own. The cinematography is immaculate. The action, the beats, the music, the message, the realism, the creativity, the humor, the originality, the vibes. The vibes, goddammit, the vibes. It's just good from start to finish. The audience is thrown straight into a vigilante militia known as the French 75, and you're hooked on these characters instantly. No matter how cliche they might seem at first, with names like Lockjaw and Perfidia, it doesn't matter because they're immediately captivating. The strange, chaotic sexual energy exuding from each character as they tear through scenes and rip apart locations, dominating in every way. It's exhilarating. Every actor and actress kills it. I can't express that enough. This is acting in its purest form, and it makes the entire film hit so much harder than it should. PTA chose the exact right people for these roles, and the storyline deserved it because, oh my god, like they delivered perfectly. Leonardo DiCaprio gives one of the most funniest and out of control performances I've seen in a while. Sean Penn steps into this role with unnerving ease. Tiana Taylor, sexy and ruthless. Chase Infinity delivers a shockingly powerful performance for someone so early in their career. And Benicio del Toro, the fucking sensei, I mean, he remains one of the most compelling presences you could put in front of a camera. He might not seem like he's doing much, but every move he makes is so precise and calculated that his drunk and funny nature becomes the perfect way to lighten the tone. And the best part about this film is that everybody in this movie is bad, because good guys are committing domestic terrorism in the name of revolution. But is it really bad when they're saving innocent immigrants? Whatever your take is on that, I don't give a fuck. But if you're siding with the fucking militant jugheads that want to be in the Illuminati circle jerk, then I guess that's where you stand, bro. But the film is clearly designed to provoke, and based on reviews, it did just that. PTA isn't lecturing. He's observing, dissecting, and dramatizing. He is showing the moral decay on all sides and letting the audience figure it out on their own. And if you have a moral compass on this film and you feel indifferent to what I'm saying, then honestly, you could eat my dick. I think the movie is awesome. I love everything about it. If it was longer than 3 hours, I would be sat and enjoying every minute of it. If there is an extended version, release it, because I promise you I will be there. And PTA, I will do you the favor and watch every single one of your films, because that's how incredible this one was. I'm a glazer. I don't give a fuck. This is a 5-star movie. Masterpiece. I don't even want to talk about this film. Truth be told, Zootopia 2, it was good. Go watch it. 4 stars. You just go watch it. It's cool. It's whatever. It has a nice message, and it was a fun watch. I don't even have to explain it. Just go watch it. The last review that I'm going to talk about, and I'm ending it off with a banger. Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Safdie. I'm going to start this off with a quote from Timmy, and I'm not going to say it. He's going to say it himself.
And I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is, I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know the classiest thing would be to downplay the effort that went into this role and how much this means to me, but the truth is, this was 5.5 years of my life. I poured everything I had into playing this incomparable artist. I can't downplay the significance of this award because it means the most to me. I I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight. I'm as inspired by Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Viola Davis as I am by Michael Jordan and Michael Phelps, and I want to be up there.
And I didn't write much for my review of this because I wrote this with all the chaos of bringing in the new year. But I need you all to know that this is an incredible film from start to finish. It has an amazing cast. Timothy Chalamet is a king. Odessa Azion is amazing. Gwyneth Paltrow, Tyler the Creator, they're great. Everybody that is a main and supporting role did fucking wonderful. I'm really sick and tired of people saying, isn't it just Uncut Gems but about ping pong? Because yes, it is. And for fuck's sakes, what does that matter? Maybe at the surface level, that is what it is. But go deeper into the depths that these characters are willing to go for what they want. Gain that brings pain. There are no wins too small. Every scene filled with stress and anxiety, there is a reaction for every misstep in this adventure. Yes, it may seem like just a movie about ping pong, but there is a reason the film holds the title of Marty Supreme. We are watching a chaotic journey that Marty Mauser experiences. He is an incredibly written character, and Timmy's performance displays it to perfection. Josh Safdie is a genius at being able to capture chaos without it feeling suffocating. He is a genius at being able to make you feel bad for terrible people, as their traits could be similar to your own. You will be as stressed and panicked as you may have been watching Uncut Gems, and that may not be your cup of tea. But as shitty as a person Marty Mauser is, you need that hunger, stress, and anxiety to make your dreams and aspirations a reality. My only complaint with the film is the length and the ending, which may or may not change on my rewatch. But I was kind of converted with the way Josh Safdie explained the ending, and I'm kind of falling into, hey man, he might be right. This is a great ending. I am inspired by the film. I am equally inspired by all the great movies I watched this year. This was my final review for a film in 2025, and I don't think I could have ended the year off with a better movie. Now, what did I give Marty Supreme? I gave it 4.5 stars. Maybe on my rewatch, I'll give it 5. And that's, look, truth be told, that's looking like where it's gonna go, because I did love this film so much. But yes, that is all. I'm really hoping this video wasn't as long as I think it was. If you're usually here for gaming content, then this is a very different experience and different side of myself. I did want to make something like this because I want to start branching out into new avenues regarding my channel. Because if you've kept up with me, then you know that I'm only ever really playing games. But I do love film. I've always loved film. I have a bachelor's degree in cinema from San Francisco State University. I've done a handful of PA work around the Bay Area. I don't really want to talk about myself that much because that's not really what I'm here for. But yeah, no, like I said, I spent a lot of this year reviewing and really logging my movies on Letterboxd. I loved my Letterboxd wrap this year. It was a very important thing for me because I just love talking about movies, especially with friends and other people. It's just such a good feeling to be able to talk about a movie, explain why you like it. You know, if you really sit down and watch a film and you just watch it at face value, yeah, for sure, but really try to appreciate the hard work and effort that goes into making these things. Me personally, that's what I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn how to make this. I want to make movies. I want to make TV shows. I want to do everything regarding film, and it has been a slippery slope, but 2026, I want to make this the year where I fully commit myself into film. I am working on a multitude of projects this year, and I am going to fully invest myself into them. So if I do not work on this channel as much as I should, forgive me. I'm really sorry. I'm going to do my very best to put out as much gaming content as I can. I love everybody that has stuck around. We hit 100 last year, and that was a very meaningful thing to me. I really do appreciate all 100 of you. We are now sitting at, I believe, 135. So I appreciate the 35 extra newcomers that came through. I love doing this shit. I love everything about it. This is a super important thing to me, and that's why I wanted to make this video. Please go make a Letterboxd account if you do not have one. Whether you log movies, rate movies, I don't give a fuck. I want you to follow me. I want more people on my Letterboxd. I just want to see more people's opinions on films and shit. I just love seeing them. That's the truth. I love seeing them. I love hearing them. And if you have an opinion on a film that you might feel indifferent to me, let's talk about it. I don't give a fuck. I'm willing to talk to you about anything. I'm willing to talk to anybody about how you feel about a movie. That's the whole point of it, right? If I didn't like a movie that you like this year, convince me that I should like it too. I'm cool with that. I'm completely cool with that. But there you go. Follow the Letterboxd. Come through. Make it happen. Follow me on all the socials. I got TikTok. I got Instagram. And yeah, this is my first video of the year. I will be uploading this soon. Hopefully I could do it sooner rather than later. I don't want to upload this in February. So I'm hoping that this comes out sometimes in January. But yeah. This was a fun time. I cut it short. This video was supposed to be like 3 to 4 hours long, but I didn't want to put nobody through that. Yeah, man, these are my opinions on films. These are the best and worst movies I watched this year. And whether you're new or old here, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your effort. Happy 2026. Welcome to the new year. This is a new year of being dedicated and working hard towards our dreams and aspirations. I'm fully inspired this year. I'm fully inspired by the people I'm surrounded by. I love all my family and friends. And yeah, that's about it, man. I'm going to leave y'all with one little thing. One little thing. If you really made it this far, I'm going to leave you with one little treat. It's a little wrinkly because I'm a fucking idiot and I accidentally put it in the wrong bag. Thank you so much for everybody that watched my videos in 2025. 2026 has a lot of great things in store, okay? I'll leave y'all with this. And that's all I'll show y'all. Not going to explain it. Just know that that's what's coming, okay? Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it if you stuck around this long. My name is Doug. I go by DisaBeast. And this was the best and worst movies I watched in 2025. See you soon.
I got some exotic, it's just flavor when I smoke. How the fuck you getting high with 4 heads on the